Good morning, everyone. Myself, Gautam Vohra, and I represent TeamLease services in specialty staffing business. I take care of Evolve Technologies, and today our webinar is based on the 5G opportunities in future in India. We all know that in telecom today, when it started up, it started with analog technology and it moved to the GSM technologies and CDMA came inside. And now from 2G to 3G to 4G and 5G is a buzzword in the market. We have seen the statistics moving from doubling the headcounts in terms of job opportunities and career opportunities from last 1 year. There are more than 61 countries which are adapted to 5G technology. And that's what the new market is coming up. I foresee that a lot of companies which are related to the manufacturing, the OEMs, the mobile phone service provided. Surprising, there are more than 40 plus mobile phones in India, which are towards the 5G enabled services. This is the opportunity, this is the size, this is the area and the growth which is going to involve in terms of employability for the new generation. There is a new age generation which is coming up. I have a very esteemed panel with us. We have Colonel YOGESH ARYA. I welcome Colonel YOGESH ARYA. Colonel YOGESH ARYA is the associate of Ramboll India. He is heading the Ramboll India as associate director, which is towards the energy and telecom business. He brings around 25 years of experience through the army, where he was into different kind of roles, which is in terms of heading various challenging and various logistic and various technology roles in army itself. Coming out of army, and then he joined the telecom space in last 14 years. He has been with us. He has been instrumental to leading special projects implementation on cost reduction, on OPEX, on green technology initiatives towards fuel cell, biomass, and solar and sound and wind energies. Colonel ARYA has been a pillar for setting up, designing, and smart city solutions, various technology for green initiative. I welcome Colonel YOGESH for this exciting webinar. I have a very senior colleague from Telecom Industry, Mr. Rathindranath Barury, popularly known as Rathin in the market. He comes with a 4 decades of industry experience in telecom. He heads the Ceragon network and the Ceragon networks towards the service and delivery. He is a vice president with the company. Oh, yeah. And from there onwards, he's been with Bharti Airtel in various leadership roles and implementing the technology which we are talking today. His experience and patience and the perseverance towards the key drivers. He loves to listen classical music, which he keeps him always motivating and taking it forward. On the last list, we have a person from a young, vibrant moderator from Ericsson Digital Services. We have Priyanka, Sarkar, Dev, who heads the SDO business and operations, people transformation and service delivery in Ericsson Digital Services. Priyanka expertise in managing business transformation projects, change management and organization development. Her present role is instrumental of leading close to 5,000 employees in Ericsson India and operationally managing business and financial dynamics of the unit. Her well-wisher known as that hands-on leader and domain expert with holistic and a strategic approach towards problem solving. I shall request Priyanka to initiate the panel discussion with Colonel YOGESH ARYA and Mr. Rathindranath. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gautam. I hope my video and audio, both sounds are going fine. A thumbs up will help there. And it's awesome to hold a different kind of a session from Ericsson's perspective, right? Till now, whatever we have been driving in a lot around the 5G area is so intrinsic to the industry. And now today, speaking with a huge audience from various dimensions where people are interested to know about 5G, nothing more can be interesting, right? So without much ado, I will start with the panel discussion with Colonel ARYA and Mr. Rathin. And I see there are some questions already popping up, but few things to start with just as a brief introduction to the topic. And Mr. Rathin, I will be bringing forward this question to you. See, 5G is fundamental in the realm of any country's technological innovations. And if I slightly bring that towards the India, set of context, then talk about the initiatives like Digital India, Smart in Cities, Smart Village missions. Everywhere 5G will play a very crucial role, and so would be the telecom industry. So you are one of our eminent experts from this industries with so much of experience that you hold in. How do you see the Indian industry is gearing up for this rollout? What would be your reflection on this, Mr. Rathin?
Thank you very much, Priyanka and Gautam, for introducing me. I think you said more. I am not that expert. Let me tell you first that I am also learning along with all of you who are there, who are participating out here. And I will try to share that what is going on in the industry. What is, first of all, we have to understand that what is 5G. Like 5G is a fifth generation mobile network. As per the global network standards, it evolved, right? We saw it in India, I think in 1995, and from there till now, it has been evolving 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G, and the 5G is knocking the doors. Now, what is it is going to give us? The 5G, what is it going to give us? The first thing and foremost thing is the 5G is going to give us a huge capacity of, when I talk about, it can give a peak data rate of around 20 Gbps as per international telecom, mobile telecommunication standards. And you can downlink at the speed of 20 Gbps and uplink around 10 Gbps. Now, while this is one of the biggest thing, but beyond this, as Priyanka said that, we talked about smart cities, we talked about village, which will be e-villages kind of thing, where everything will be virtual. What we can do is we can connect everything virtually, everything together, including machine, objects, and devices. So these are all, when we talk about connecting with everything and everything, is it only the capacity? Are we talking about only the capacity? No, we are not talking about only the capacity. We are talking about the latency. We are talking about, I divided it into 4 parts. We call it EMBB. One is enhanced mobile broadband. And then we have a fixed wireless, where enhanced mobile broadband experience. Then machine to machine, massive IoT, Internet of Things connectivities, M2M, and expanded ecosystem, like, where mission critical things. For example, any surgery is supposed to happen and the surgeon is way around 2,000 miles away, and still he can perform the surgery. And these are mission critical. So for this, 5G will enable all these services together. Now, as you asked that where we are at this moment. So at this moment, Government of India has given, DOT has permission given to Bharti Airtel, Reliance Jio, Vohra to do a trial, and MTNL also. But who are behind this? These are operators. Now, behind the operators, who are people like, the companies who are giving their OEMs and their expertise, that is Ericsson, Nokia, Samsung. Reliance has built up an indigenous system of them, and definitely a CDOT, which is state-owned. MTNL is going with CDOT. So this is a perspective which I am trying to give you, that the industry is getting ready. The trials, as far as trials are concerned, trials have already started. The trial license has been given for 2 + 6 months, 2 months for making readiness and 6 months for trial. So, which may be extended to some extent. This is what I can say about. So over to you, Priyanka. If more questions are there, I'll definitely answer those. I gave a
Thanks,
perspective
thanks.
how it is now.
Thanks, Mr. Rathin. Yeah, definitely. It gives a good overview. And if I can also add in one more point there, that industry experts are joining hands to ensure that the speed and the roll up is faster, right? And I see a question from Mr. Nitish in the chat box there, where he talks about that smart city projects are on paper and there can be various initiatives which has not yet gone into in the execution mode. But what we are trying to bring forth today from the panel discussion is our preparedness, right? Be it from the industry's perspective or competence or talent perspectives, which we will be exploring more in the next few minutes of our discussions. And so thanks, Mr. Rathin, for that overview. And Karlin, Arya, from your experience, will you want to talk something more around the industry preparedness, if you have any other different dimensions to bring forward here?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Gautam, for introducing us, and thank you, Priyanka ma'am and Rathin, for your inputs. I just want to add on to what Rathin has brought out most of the things. So basically, like all of you know, we are looking at made in India now. So that's the main motive behind now. So the like you have seen, the names of the companies which have collaborated with our operators are all non-Chinese companies now. And looking forward, Airtel has tied up with TCS now to set up this 5G network. This 5G network will be much game changer, basically. So basically in this, you will and connect them with the hardware, and everything could be it would be totally different now going forward. And like he has said, the trials have started now, and in a way there are some people who are talking that it may be announced on next year when we celebrate our 75th independence anniversary. So that day we may be launching our 5G. Let's see how things are moving. Because of COVID, this whole thing has got delayed, and even the spectrum has to be auctioned, may happen within the next 6 months. So everything is fluid at the moment, but everybody is preparing for this. And you must have heard also on the news, Bharti Airtel had done the trials in Hyderabad in January. And so we are there. We are not lagging behind. It's the only thing, we are going to be more made in India this time than outside. Thank you.
Good, and I think
I would like to add just a minute, Priyanka.
Sure,
Sorry,
sure,
I'll
Mr.
just add up that you said about the different device. I just reiterate. We are talking about. He's talking about Open RAN. Yeah. When we talk about this Open RAN means hardware devices. Maybe as of now, up till the 4G, what we have seen is the software and the hardware. They are all binded together, yeah. And you are dependent on one OEM who is going to give the entire solution, both hardware and software. For example, Cisco was the one of the guy who has actually initially said, no, we don't want to open that, but they are the first company who have come up for this Open RAN hardwares, where the softwares can be from others also. Like this is what I think Colonel Saab has highlighted that. Yeah.
So
perfect. Thanks.
Here again, I just want to add, Rakuten has been a leader here, and they have come up with such a solution, which they are saying they are going to give every cost into breakup and say what is going to be the cost of each and every item, and you can go for it based on that. So there are going to be a lot of changes in the market going forward. So yeah.
Correct. And I pick up two phrases. One from the first part of the response, the Make in India tagline. It's a great thing to feel associated with, knowing today our audience group comes from various industry and from India primarily. That's the tagline to follow through and should serve as a motivation for all the audiences to know more about why 5G career and those experts in. And another dimension that both of you very strongly highlighted is the open RAN and the whole speed that is expected to increase, as well as the cost reduction that is expected to happen in. So if I can slightly compare the 4G platform and the 5G platform, 5G definitely promises to bring down our associated costs a lot. And in fact, that's another reason why the transition between this talk about the telecom operator companies or this industries, why we are speeding up further, because cost is another dimension which is expected to reduce a lot with introduction of 5G, and that would be key in driving all the associated industries and not only telecom. With that, then I move on to my next question, and we touched upon various aspects where I would like to bring both of your expertise on this infrastructure preparedness, right? And I think this has been a long debated topic about the telecom infrastructure preparedness in the India context. And if I compare ourselves with other countries where we have begun with the 5G, their key enabler has been how the infrastructure is ready for their respective countries. So my question again, if I may start with you, Mr. Rathin, what would be your reflection? And I understand it's your personal opinion, that how do you see the Indian infrastructure prepared for this whole speed or 5G transition that we are talking about?
When we talk about the infrastructure, what we need is that we need to build up a connectivity. When we talk about connectivity, then at the back end, we need a fiber, which needs to connect most of the towers, but at the same time, the fiber cannot reach at every nooks and corner of to connect this 5G. The biggest part of the 5G is this CAT key. When we are doing a mission critical connectivity, so you need more dense network, and while doing this dense network, you need to have smart poles which can hold on this radios or RAN, like radio access networks, which is sliced into 3 parts. So that is also coming up. There are many companies which are coming up with this kind of immediate building up of the poles kind of structure, wherein the last mile can be connected. When we are talking about 5G, there are up till now 4G, what we had is a backhaul and the connectivity to the mobile connectivity. But now when we are slicing this RAN part into front haul, back haul, and mid haul. So the small cells are coming up. Small cells will be there, so that Wi-Fi will get integrated. So the building up of the Wi-Fi, IP6, IPv6. The IP6 is the one which is coming up. So I think with the initiative of this Make in India and this smart poles which are going to come up and connect, so I believe we are very much on the way. As soon as the trial is over and other infrastructure also will get in place, the number of equipments which will be required to connect to seamless giving a connectivity will be little higher on because it will be sliced one. So I think we are preparing very rightly, very nicely. As soon as the government opens up, we will have this infrastructure, and I am very sure in next 5 to 7 years, the requirement will go up. Whatever things what we require on the infrastructure will go up in at least 3 folds to 4 folds. That's what I can say, Priyanka.
Thanks much, Mr. Rathinan. That's a good estimation to understand and for us to start up our base with. Colonel Arya, you have been handling various projects in this direction already, which we heard very proudly in your introduction. What would be your take in terms of the preparedness, the infrastructure specifically, if I talk about?
Yeah, Mr. Rathin rightly brought out. So there will be a lot of more infrastructure required now going forward, and connectivity would be the other biggest this thing, because you require high speed. So fiber cannot be there everywhere. So you may have microwave also, and the frequency in which mostly 5G would be there would be in the higher frequency range, where the coverage area would be much lesser for them. So we will have something called street furniture going forward. So your even your street lights and all those things will have a small component of the radio network there. And with the higher frequency, the antenna size reduces dramatically. So basically, the antennas would be smaller, and we are going for a new technology which is called MMI, monolithic. MIMOs, basically multiple input, multiple output antennas are coming in, which are similar to phased array antennas. So they are coming in, and we are already deploying them. So we can see them being deployed in the country as of now. So we are preparing for shifting from 4G to 5G. So that work is also going on. And these smart cities also, we have designed few poles. People in Vizag may have seen. So our smart poles are there, where everything would be there in the tower itself. You would have even the radio this thing, announcements. You'll have digital display. You'll have weather monitoring devices there, alarms. Even your going forward, your EV chargers would be there in that pole. So these poles would be smart, really smart poles, and we have designed quite a few of them. And that's a thing which is going to be the future. And you'll have a lot of that furniture, so that's going to be a big challenge. But here again, people would be worried about the EMF. I'm diversifying, but EMF is not an issue here. I'm an expert on EMF, so I'll cover that later on. But EMF is not an issue here. So when things are coming up close by to you, don't be afraid. Allow things to happen. Unless we allow the technology to move fast and not create roadblocks, we'll have a very good 5G network in India going forward.
Perfect.
I want to add up there, Colonel Yogesh, that when we are talking about densification of the network and how to do the survey, like the surveys will be done by a device called LEADER, that is light detection and ranging, and drone-based survey capabilities are there, like with which the 5G towers, where the 5G towers will be put on. So this is one of the aspects what will be coming up. We will be able to see that much of the surveys for the 5G network enhancement will be done by drone, and that with the LEADER.
That's interesting, and I think there too in the network business, Ericsson is definitely playing a role or trying to up a bit and upskill there. And with that, I think I will touch upon a few questions related to the career and talent market, because I see people are really interested now to know more after getting a very nice introduction from both of you on the topic and the whole preparedness that an India market has, right? So let me first touch upon Colonel Arya, I will be asking this question to you. So for any of your initiatives or projects that you would be driving in, if you look for talent, and I'm asking slightly a broad question to give everyone a perspective, when you talk about talent, what is the typical skill set that you are looking for? And also, prior to you answer this, I would be taking this same question, Mr. Rathin, to you, and I will also try to give my bare minimum experience inputs on that, so that we have three dimensions to this whole topic of talent. So what is the talent that typically your organization looks for, Colonel Arya?
Okay, see, I'll talk more generalized than restricting myself to my company, because we have very limited portfolio in this aspect. So like 5G, from that aspect, I'll just add on. So basically 5G would involve a lot of aspects. So like there are something called artificial intelligence, big data analytics, Internet of Things, cloud computing, cyber security, robotics, blockchain, virtual reality, 3D printing, web and mobile development, and IT marketing. And other than that, what we also are doing is network knowledge, how to set up a network, basically setting up the tower. So you require a civil engineer there, you require a mechanical engineer there, you require an electrical engineer there. So all the three would be working there. And in the factories where the towers are being developed, again, we ensure the quality of that. So you require quality engineers there. And again, so basically all the dimensions would be working here. So one thing which all of us have to ensure that we upgrade our coding skills. There would be a lot of coding required going forward into this, because it will be all machine to machine going. IoT would be the biggest game changer here. So 5G is looking more towards the industry 4.0. So that industry 4.0, which is going to come up, will be all machine to machine. And here you would be requiring a lot of coding and a lot of other skills which you'll have to develop yourself. So there are a lot of other ways how you can develop your skills. I'll talk about it later on. But going forward, this is the place where there's going to be n number of opportunities here. So we cannot restrict ourselves to any this thing. It is your liking, where you are more comfortable. Like he brought out lidars and drones. So if you are good at gaming and all, so you can look at drones, how to manage those drones and do the surveys. There's something called 3D printing, which is coming up. So 3D printing would be used in n number of places. So previously they used to make the mock sort of part or something, and then they used to deliver. But 3D printing, you can develop the product directly and go for the printing and develop the products. So everything is going to be more IT driven, and you're basically you have to be loving that whatever you're doing. So whatever you're doing, have a lot of josh there, like in the army, I'll say. Have faith in that this thing and develop yourself in that field. So you be specialist. That's what matters more. Thank you.
Perfect. I mean, that's a great mix in terms of skills, your experience, and a quick fun comment there when you say the 3D printing. And I was reading an article these days, houses are getting 3D printed, and that's where we are taking our whole journey toward to. But without much ado, then Mr. Rathin, your reflections on.
I think ARYA has covered mostly, but I would like to add a few, like. When we're talking about, first of all, the infrastructure is going to be built up, and the others which will be built up from the people. What is important is that people who have a project management skill, like, this requires a lot of coordination with a lot of people. This is one part which, if somebody has got a project management skill, that is telecom, related to deployment of these equipments in building this infrastructure. That is one of the talent which will be looking forward for. We will be requiring the people who are as you mentioned, on the quality part, on the deployment itself. Like when you are deploying, so you need to have quality assurance also. That is one part. And then we need people who can configure it. There's one is that when you are building it, another is that how you are maintaining it. The people who are building it, they have this project management skill which is required. The engineers who are just coming out of the they have 1 or 2 years or 3 years experience, they can go and start working in configuring the devices. So you need certain kind of talent with which understand the softwares, and moreover to it, like where the additional jobs which will be, he highlighted very clearly that on the distributed cloud, if somebody is expert in that and wants to excel in there, then understanding of the network slicing. Like when I talk about network slicing out here, I'm not talking about the 5G the slicing of ORAN or Open RAN. I'm talking about here the network slicing in the sense you need to understand that data, video, and voice, these are going to reach from one place to other in the same place, same time. Because latency is, we are talking about less than 1 millisecond. But we need to give a priority, which is priority. When I talk about in a layman's language, when we are talking, we in a real time kind of thing, the voice needs to go and the video can follow. If you are talking about audio, video, both together, it has to go together, both audio and video. Otherwise, there will be a lag. Then we need to have, many people need to understand on the security part, because this the network security is one of the biggest areas where people need to have the talent. But they can, a lot of certifications which will be coming up is already there in open, like they get certified out there, and definitely work on those automations, as I said before, that about leader, about drones, others, that how you can develop yourself in those automation field. I think that's all that from my side. I believe Colonel ARYA has already covered most of the things.
Perfect. So I think if I summarize both of your answers and slightly bring in across my insights as basis the experience that we lead into, a few things that we will be highlighting, and there are a few questions where typically people are asking specifically what skills. So while I summarize, I will highlight those, like packet core, cloud native, communication services, IMS, Kubernetes, Docker. Those are the various skills and the lines of technology awareness that you will be requiring in. There is a second segment which will be focusing a lot on data analytics. So you have big data. How will you analyze it? What kind of dimensions you will be bringing across to support the various use case examples that both Colonel ARYA and Mr. Rathin brought in? It will be extremely important to correlate that whole data analytics piece using AI, ML, and how we bring forward. So any competence on this second pillar would be extremely important. And then there is a third pillar where we highlighted the project management skills, planning, organization, so all those skills where a person needs to really come forward, because the thing which we will like to re-emphasize repeatedly, this is a territory, kind of an unknown territory where we are venturing into. Everyone is working on the job, innovating and doing it together. All countries are into it together, and India is no such exceptions. To have all these put into right use cases and to influence not only the telecom industry but various other industries that are related into the last dimension would be extremely important. How your program management skills are, how your project management skills are, the leadership abilities all will come into forte. And it's not limited only to the senior talent of the organization, but a campus graduate also needs to pick this up. The skills you will be learning from your college campuses if you are a young talent, or you are already upskilling, reskilling yourself through various programs that are available, various certification courses that are available. But the third pillar which we have, which both our eminent leaders emphasized on, that's something which you will have to learn day in and day out, and industries will be looking into it when they try to gauge the talent or when they try to tap the talent, right? So that's how we will be summarizing the career part of it. And if I again go back to some technical questions or technical aspects, I will slightly try to bring across few other sectors or industries also where you think 5G will be instrumental, and basis your industry knowledge, which are the areas you think will play a very instrumental role. And while I say this, I know COVID had played its own impact to increase the speed of this 5G uptake, not only in telecom industry. So obviously we will have that thought in mind. And Mr. Rathin, if I can ask you that, which other industries you see that 5G is creating a whole robustness on? What would be your reflections on that?
Other industry in the sense, like we have this gaming industry. You see that it's quite big. So how there will be virtual gaming. Like I'm playing with you. Though it's virtual, it will feel like real, because everything you are getting in a fraction of seconds, of less than milliseconds. That's what I'm saying. So this is the one of the areas which we will definitely look forward. The communication between, like, that the machine to machine, what I'm talking about, like smart farming. This will be areas like, where these are the applications which will be a lot of jobs will be coming out for the application development. Like, what are the things what it can do? Like, you have when we are doing a smart farming, you have a number of sensors all around, but what command is required to be given so that the farming can be done the best and the best yield can come in. Then I'm talking about the entire this waste management, whatever it is there, that also can be done smartly. I said about we have very good doctors all across the world, and we want them to perform certain, or some patient is very critical, and then he needs an immediate attention, or surgery needs to be done while taking it from the site to the hospital. That also can be done. I'm saying that mission critical kind of applications can be used and can be performed. And we are talking about drone delivery. We are talking about where automatic cars will be there, which will driverless cars. This will be there. So all these things requires a lot of application development, softwares. So these are the areas where I think beyond the infrastructure, we need to have people and their expertise on this. As you rightly said, on AI and ML, these are all things which will be very, very important. And people, those who have interest in that, they need to get certified and contribute towards usage of it. One is that we are building up the infrastructure. Another is how we can utilize the benefit of this 5G when we are saying everything is near real.
And any tips that you would give them, that to our audience, that what they can refer to while they are trying to maybe upskill themselves? Which are the typical areas that you think they should be focusing on? Any suggestions will you have there?
See, one I always said about when you are building any network or infrastructure, when you are building, whether you make a road or make a telecom infrastructure, you need to have, there are a lot of certifications like PMP certifications or PRANS. Project management is one of the very key part for any new building of things. Beside this, people should have that all the certifications which with respect to prompt services, or that is ITIL certifications. This is on general, but beyond this, people should have certain certifications like, we call, since I work for Ceragon, and Ceragon is specialist microwave backhaul, so we have a certification called Ceragon Certified Radio Professional. So RF specialist, like there are a lot of certifications which are available beyond this Ceragon. Like, we have CCNA, like, for what Cisco is trying to do it. Like this, we have many other certifications which will enable to give an entry, because that will give a knowledge and also competence to contribute towards building the 5G network and the application towards usage toward of that.
Cool. Thanks much. And I think good to hear about your own industry experiences also there, as to how your respective organizations are transforming into. And there, if I may add, even within any other telecom players, and it's, I mean, we can go into a LinkedIn site, and that's what we keep on encouraging our employees into that. See the kind of certifications which people are doing in every day. You see, log into an LinkedIn, there is a self self-proclamation of that this is the certification that we have happened. So while COVID had its various kind of negative impact, this is a positive disruption which we see in people are self-learning so much, and there are so much avenues to learn through various websites and portals. That's what I think will help our enthusiastic 5G career takers to explore into. So yes, getting into those portals, understanding, going through those certifications would be important, as well as try to use those cloud platforms where you can actually get into a on the job kind of an experience through those cloud platforms. Even those avenues are there. So if you are really looking for reskilling yourself or upskilling yourself, the platforms are there. It's only about the habit of learning that should be imbibed into, is how I would be foreseeing it. And in extension to that, Colonel ARYA, you are one of an excellent example as to how you transition from one career dimension to another aspect, right? And if you can bring forward a few of your personal reflections or suggestions for our audience as to what they should be keeping in mind into, or a few tips if you can give to the audience.
Yeah, thank you. So basically, when I transitioned from my military to civil, we underwent a course at IIM Indore for a few 6 months. So basically, that was sort of a stepping stone for us to how we should be working in the civil environment. Though the things are similar, it is just we have created a sort of a thing that military is different, civil people are same, so people handling is same, everything is same. So here, basically, we should be basically open-minded and be ready to take on any work. And unlike in the army, we are given orders to do a thing. Here, no orders are given. You have to take on your work, grab as much work as you can. In your younger age, how much you put in the work, how much effort you put in, that will give you fruits later on. So you have to put in your time and efforts and be smart. Okay, so you don't have to be slogging like a donkey, but be smart and work to the perfect, and you will be given the results. So you can grow in this thing. And like what Mr. Rathin has said, project management, PMP is a very, very required skill, which for project managers. But other than that, you also have these quality. So you can do an ISO lead auditor course or Six Sigma course. Similarly, for health and safety. Now, these days, health and safety has become a very important aspect. Especially all these European companies which have come to India are very strict about the health and safety. So you can do a NIBOSH course and become a health and safety inspector. So there is a lot of platforms available online these days: Coursera, Edureka, EDX, Udemy, and like ma'am brought out LinkedIn, Neptel, VDACT. So there are so many courses and platforms available which are giving free. So you can just book yourself and do a course and be collect some certificates and be sort of industry ready. So you can make yourself industry ready and take up the challenge there. That's all. Thank you.
And in one of your questions, Colonel, you were talking about skills development, where you wanted to bring across a bit more insight at the later part of the discussion. Do you think it will be the right time to speak a bit more on that topic?
Yeah. So as you must have heard that India has developed a skill development council also, and there's a lot of things going on in that aspect. So NASSCOM itself has come out with the Atal Innovation Vision, which is working on AI-based studies. So you want to do something on that. So there's about 2.5 million students they want to prepare for this. So you can get into this. Then there is a National Skill Development Corporation of India, which is again working on PPP model, public-private partnership model. So there are a lot of courses where you can upgrade your skills and work there. And then we have a specialized manpower generation program where we are working on nanotechnology. So they have to plan to train about 50,000 specialized research manpower on nanoelectronics. So they would be working with the ISCs and IITs. and develop their skills there. And there is one Vishweshwaraya PhD scheme for electronics and IT. So here again, in case you want to go further into this knowledge and be an expert in some field, so you can go for a PhD, and there's a lot of programs in that, and you can work on that. And then there are two more fostering ecosystems like Startup India. So Startup India is basically to address your regulatory and funding hurdles. So you can, these young boys who are working, want to start their own some business, work with the Startup India. So we have a lot of these institutions all over India where you can work with them. And there's a national policy on software products. So basically, the government has approved 1,500 crores fund for this, which will be spent over 7 years. And they want to skill almost 1 million IT professionals in this. So there, which again would go down to the school level also. So schools and colleges also would be involved in that. So there is a lot of places where you can upgrade your skill, and the government is also working towards this, because India is a sort of a young country as of now. We have got maximum people in the age group between less than 25, and so we are a young country that way. Europe is growing old, China is growing old, everybody is old. So it's this manpower which can do wonders for us, and we are doing. You can see how we are there globally. Most of the CEOs of all the companies are Indians now, and we are doing well, and we should keep up the flag up. Thank you.
I would like to add up what Colonel Yogesh has said, that beyond this, people need to have, they can have the opportunities which will be coming in on the Make in India, what he has rightly said in the beginning of it, that a lot of manufacturing is going to come up. Manufacturing of devices, manufacturing of radio equipments. Now, beyond this, when you are manufacturing, definitely there is a maintenance part too. So there, the people who are at the very beginning level, they are starting after engineering and all, or diploma or a technical course which they are doing. From there also they can join this manufacturing units and contribute towards there, based on the it may be a mechanical, it may be electronics, it may be communication, all these kind of things which the things which are coming up very rapidly, and it's getting built up, and this real initiative with the Make in India will boost the entire the seekers, those who are seeking jobs with respect to this. This will be a big platform, and they can contribute towards getting our nation at parallel to that of developed nations. Thank you.
Perfect. I think those were some great tips from both of you. And for aspiring talents, I think this becomes extremely crucial for them to be aware of and keep themselves upskilled and aligned with the industry thing. And then if I slightly take this question, this was more from the students or people who are maybe working, but trying to upskill from their perspective. Any suggestions or tips you will have for people who are recruiting in the industry? I mean, there is a huge demand supply gap that we see in, and it's not going to get over immediately, because it's now that we have just begun, and we will have to be there as a India market for some time. On top of that, there are MNCs which are employing this talent for delivering projects in other countries. I mean, even if I talk about my own organization, we are taking up talents to deliver projects in European countries, American countries, and it has become global now, right? So any suggestions that you have for recruiters when they are looking for talents? Any tips you will have there? And I'm asking an open question, so any one of you can answer this.
Okay, like when we are looking for talents, I'll talk specifically. What is the person coming out of the college, then in that case, the attitude which will really make difference. Like, whether he's willing to learn, that is what part. Uh, and it may not be experience, but the attitude which says that okay, I will take it up this. And every courses there is some trainings which they actually do during their engineering or whatever it is. That's very important. And from there, when the recruiters actually ask, they generally ask from the whatever they have done it, be it at the college level, be it a 1 or 2 year experience. So this is one of the biggest tips which I would like to give it to the people who wants to come and join the MNCs or any Indian MNC or Indian company.
Perfect. And anything, Colonel ARYA, you would want to add?
Yeah, I'll just add to this. Basically, like what Rathin has brought out, it is more the attitude which matters for a new joinee, and his biodata also shows basically what all projects he has done. So that also helps basically his internship or his projects. So, and generally we can ask questions on them. Basically, those people things which on which they have actually handled the project on themselves. That's what would make a difference. So whatever projects and all those things which you have done, they matter a lot. Co-curricular is also there, but overall it doesn't matter much. So you don't have to worry about that. But you should be open to work and learn. So basically, in the army we go through something called service selection board, which is the most unique selection criteria. So I'll just take it from there. So there, when I was being selected for NDA, National Defense Academy, so that time it is more your psychology and your mindset is checked than anything else. So that's what is also applicable to the private sector. So it is your psychology and your mindset which matters more, and willingness to learn, that is more important. So there's a lot of OJT, which is on the job training. You will be trained. So nobody is trained from home itself. So you will be trained there, and thereafter it's up to you how you want to take your career forward.
And they need to take it on. I think that's the key thing or key message that would be there on. With that, I will move into a kind of a Q&A section basis the feedback that we have received from various participants. And Colonel ARYA, maybe I start with you. And the first question that I see coming up is, what is the future of field engineers after 5G? So how does the field engineers see themselves transitioning into, or what should they be thinking about?
So these field engineers are basically working on the field, and they have to upgrade their skills with the new softwares which would be coming in now. So like previously, we were doing the drive test using a laptop and other items, and now it will all move to a mobile, or it could be again done by a drone going forward, or it could be done through software itself. We will have a three-dimensional layout of the maps, and all those things would be available. So you have to upskill yourself for those things. And similarly, the field workers working on the quality part, or in the basically checking the infrastructure rollout and all those things. So you have to be there with the latest technology. We will not be having those big towers going forward. It would be more smaller infrastructure coming up, and these would be sort of just assembled now. So you have to just be ready. The tower has to be ready in 48 hours. So we won't have those a month's duration. So you have to upskill yourself towards those new technologies, it would be more machine centric now going forward than human centric. So you have to upgrade yourself with project management skills, and try and move a step up in your ladder and become managers, and improve your basically speaking skills, how to make mails. That these things are sort of not the field employees are more just give the report at the end of the story, but they have to upgrade their communication skills, and all those things also have to be done. Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks. And then I'm moving slightly to the next question, and Mr. Rathan, I will be asking this to you. Someone has been working as an IP networks engineer and now wants to venture into the 5G area because that seems to be key and crucial. So what would be 2 tips for such individuals who want to transition to this kind of a field?
Firstly, the person needs to get the skills which are the certifications which are there with respect to the applications which will be coming on the platform of 5G. The person needs to work on it. Since he's got a background of IT, see, when I talk about 5G, it's a big horizon. One is with respect to the networking, another is respect to the application on this networking. So if it's application, since the background is of IT, he can upgrade himself in developing the applications which will be required for these, the services, for example, ultra low latency equipments, which will be working machine to machine kind of thing. How it will they can upgrade themselves on the AI platform. How the machine learning actually is working, this all things the person can certify themselves, get knowledge from it's all open world, the knowledge is available everywhere, and then explore, and an industry will be looking forward for them. The blend of understanding of networking as well as IT.
And if I can slightly okay, sorry. And if I can slightly extrapolate this question, there is also a question on someone asking that what is the role of machine learning skills in 5G? We did touch upon that in our responses before, but anything you both would want to re-emphasize on this dimension, the role that machine learning will play?
Yeah, machine learning would be required. So basically, it would be all IoT. So machine learning would help in planning, or see, basically what is machine learning? So the machine should adopt to the various things. So you'll be having a lot of smart homes. The industry would be there. Industry 4.0 is looking at all automation. So this machine learning would be very, very important, and human intervention would be reduced further than going forward. So we would require a lot of machine learning capabilities here. And like we all, this artificial intelligence and machine learning would go hand to hand. So basically both the things would work, and everything would be automated. So you don't have to worry about the manual intervention going forward.
Cool. Thank you so much. And I see we are dot on time. And before I hand it over back to our session organizers, from my end, thank you so much, Colonel ARYA and Mr. Rathin. It was great speaking, exploring and learning with all of you, along with the audience that we have in. And with that, Mr. Gautam, I hand it over to you.
You're mute.
Mr. Gautam, you are not audible.
I think we can't hear him also.
Yeah.
There may be a network issue because we are in the platform. So these kind of things will not happen in 5G, see? Why? Because you'll have a mobile broadband. So
yes,
this will be kind of on a real-time kind of thing. The bandwidth will be not at all an issue.
Virtually, we'll be sitting together.
Yes, virtually we are sitting together.
Or maybe that's an indicator, and Mr. Gautam, we can't hear you still. Maybe that's an indicator that we should continue with the discussion, though we don't have time, but maybe that's the reason why it's out there. And Mr. Gautam, we can see you clearly, but we can't hear you. You are unmuted, I can see that.
Well, so indeed a great session. Thanks to everybody for the participation. Vote of thanks to the honorable panelist, Mr. Rathin and Colonel Yogesh. Thanks to Priyanka for presenting such a new horizon to all of us. Quite informative discussion, though I will not say it's a closing statement. Basically, it's an opening of a new era and a new possibilities in terms of technology, employment, and skills. A journey that started from 1995 when Mr. Jyoti Basu inaugurated the mobile telephony in India by doing the first call. Within a tenure of just 27 years, mobile technology converted or evolved himself from pager to 4G, from fantasy to essentiality, from dignity to utility. Now, again, we are in the verge of adapting a new revolution. History says whenever revolution happened, it's required strong group of determined people to make it happen. Well understood. Here also India requires strong group of skilled and determined people to deploy it. We see that almost 18 horizontal and 18 vertical opportunities will open up in IT, IoT platform-based services, cloud computing, optical fiber, backhaul skills, network security, data centers, OTT. So here I am ending my statement, looking forward to see a new start in India. Thanks to all of you. Thanks, guys. And next time onwards, we will surely ensure that seeing the questions and all, we will ensure that we can extend this webinar up to 2 hours at least. Thanks. Thanks to all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Rathin. Thank you, Gautam.
Thank you, Colonel Saab, Priyanka, and everybody from TeamLease. Thank you very much for organizing this.
And all the participants. Yeah, thank you so much for being there.
Yes. Thanks to everyone who has participated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.